Hi everyone, it is David Mead here, and thank you so much for joining us again for another regular Neca Live. It is so nice to have the opportunity to catch up with you on our LinkedIn, Facebook and YouTube channel. And you know the weeks are hurtling down now until we get to join you all live at our first ever all virtual 100% remote Neca convention. It runs October 6th through 8th, and the team have been working so incredibly hard to make sure that we bring you the greatest convention that you have ever seen. Over the course of the last 3 months, we've been meeting every single week here on LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook to explore the topics, the content, the speakers, the incredible trade show space, and also the workshops and entertainment elements that we have to make sure that this will be an unforgettable Neca Live 2020. And we have got people coming in and tuning in from all across the world. Let's have a little hello to some. We've got Vaz is coming in from Canada, Toronto with our friends at Signature Electric. Leslie is joining us all the way from beautiful Las Vegas. Leslie, I cannot wait to get back to Las Vegas. It's one of my favorite cities. Stephen is coming in from Jacksonville, Florida. I hope you and your team are all keeping not only busy, but also safe there. And every single LinkedIn Live, we have someone coming in from the beautiful state of Arizona. So thanks for coming and joining us. Neca Live is all about investing in yourself, investing in your business, and giving you the opportunity to raise the bar on your own performance. But it's easy to forget in this era of extraordinary change and uncertainty that business really is about performance. Sometimes that's about business performance, sometimes that's about financial performance, but other times it's about bringing great performance to the way that we do our business. So this year we are excited to be bringing in a host of world-class performers who will help raise the bar on our work. And I am so excited to welcome maybe my new best friend in the universe. It's Carissa Barreca. Carissa, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm great. I'm so honored to be your new best friend.
I think we're going to be together forever. Carissa, thank you so much for joining us. You are from the wonderful, world-famous, incredibly renowned Second City. Now, I know everyone will have heard of Second City, but for those of us who might have been under a rock, tell us a little bit about the work that Second City does.
Absolutely. Second City has been around for over 60 years. It has amazing alumni. You might know them. You might have heard of them. Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Stephen Colbert. You've got the amazing Catherine O'Hara. You've never...
Never heard of them.
More recently, Keegan-Michael Key, Chris Redd, Aidy Bryant. The list truly goes on and on and on. I could just sit here for the next hour and list alumni.
And Carissa Barreca.
And Carissa Barreca. And new best friend for the eternity, Carissa Barreca also came from the Second City. We're known for sketch comedy, which is basically what you see on Saturday Night Live. It's written comedy. And we're also known for improvisation. That's kind of our bread and butter. That's how we started, improvisation. It's making up a scene off the top of your head with a suggestion that we got live. So you know that there's no tricks. We are literally taking what you gave us and we're turning it into comedy gold.
And you know, the truth is, a lot of people don't realize, but much of business is actually about improvisation. Whether you're pitching to a client and they ask you a tricky question, whether you're working on a project or a site and something unexpected comes up, the skills of a comedian or of an improv professional really do equip you to do a better job.
Absolutely. I feel like when somebody asks me what is improv and they're like, how do you do it? Oh my goodness. How do you get up there and you just respond? And I always am like, you do that every day. It just takes a little like training to do it at a higher level. And that's kind of like, it's just that little bit of practice that gets you to be able to do it at the level where we do it at on stage. But in its very basest form, it's listening and communicating. Those are the two biggest things in improv. And that's basically what people in the business world do every single day. You must do that, listening and communicating. But if you can do it at that higher level, you are going to be more successful at what you're doing.
I think all of the Neca family as well. Many of the businesses are family run businesses, some very large, some very small, and they're always trying to sell something, whether it's an idea to a stakeholder or a project or a product or a solution to a client. And actually, the job of a comedian is sometimes to sell, whether it's a joke or a line or a gag, or even just to sell the fact that they feel confident about what they're doing, even though inside they might be thinking, what the heck's going to come out of my mouth next?
Yeah. Honestly, I like one of my favorite parts about being a comedian and doing this work is that it taught me to live with those butterflies, live with that chance, that feeling of like a chance of failure. Maybe not like, but if you can live with that and let those butterflies and that stress fuel you instead of being an obstacle to what you're about to do, it truly does allow you to be more free, more open. It takes you to a new level of being able to not only perform fearlessly, but like live a little bit more fearlessly.
And I think that fearless point is really important because in this moment, whether you're a comedian or a business, it has affected the way that we work. It's affected the way that we earn our money. It's affected the way that we deliver our contracts, whether that's on a stage or whether that's on a site. It's changed the way that we've worked forever. And I think the agility and the flexibility that comedians, actors, and performers use, I think there's loads of great lessons for business people to take away as well.
Absolutely. Adapting to a new situation, being able to not be stuck in one way of thinking. Like this is in improv, there's this big saying of like, if somebody is doing a scene, if somebody is doing something in front of you, let's say I'm an octopus. You aren't going to walk in there with your own agenda. You must be, even if I was like, I have this amazing idea about a moon man, I must present you this amazing moon sketch, but they're an octopus, so you have to change how you're going to deal with this immediately on the spot. Have that agility to change. That's something that we use through Second City called yes and. We yes and whatever is happening in front of us, and that allows us to move forward in a positive way and build on what is already happening.
Well, Carissa, I think we should experiment. I think you should try some of these exercises out on me. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be any good at this or not, but I mean, how could improvise? I would like you to improvise the life clean out of me. What do you think? I'm very excited. Yes, I think that's great. And these are little tiny tricks and techniques that anyone can use. These are actually for our business part of Second City. This is not just for the performers. These are like life lessons for everyone. Yes, and okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You and I, super simple. We're just gonna have a conversation, okay? And let's say the conversation is going to be about a birthday party that we're gonna plan. How about that? It's so simple. Oh, fantastic! That's all that mine is just around the corner.
Is it? Okay, great. Okay,
yeah.
Then I want you to plan your birthday party for me, and I'm going to respond in a certain way to you. And let's see how this conversation goes.
Okay, I'm planning my birthday party, and I have booked a bounce castle.
I don't really think we should do that. No, because I just don't want to have to like put out too much energy on my own. No.
Okay, what an absolute joy you are to spend time with.
Yeah. Let's do this exercise again. It's very simple. I'm gonna respond in a different way now. Give me another thing you'd like to do.
Okay. So my birthday is coming up. It's just around the corner in April, and I think we should book a candy floss machine.
Yes, but instead of candy floss, can we do anything else?
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, we could have Guinness. In Ireland, we call it breakfast.
Yeah, but I'm not really big into drinking dark beers. Okay, that's the second way to do it. Okay, it's a yes, but let's do our final one right now, and we'll see if this changes around a little bit with yes and.
Okay, so I am planning my birthday, and ideally, I would like to have... I think we should play Twister.
Yes, and we should do like a tournament of Twister. Yes,
and the prize could be Guinness. Yes.
Oh, and we could put little bows on each of the Guinness bottles when we hand them out, so it really feels like everyone's winning some their own little gift.
Yes, and we could celebrate on the bounce castle at the end.
Yes, and then we will bounce all night long. Yes, and this is as simple as we can put it. This is the simplest way I can explain yes and to you. The first thing I responded was no, because which is a very common statement in business. No, we can't do this, and I'm telling you why. Because of this. That stops the conversation cold. It puts every bit of onus on you, the person who's telling me what they want to do, to have to switch. It stops the conversation. It stops collaboration. The next way that we hear a lot of folks in business respond is yes, because they think it's positive, but. Yes, but is just a no with a top hat on. It doesn't move the conversation forward. It's just a fancy way, basically, of saying no. But yes and. Oh, the glory of yes and moves the conversation, moves your collaboration, moves everything forward. And I'm not saying a lot of folks in business get kind of apprehensive, like I can't say yes and to everything, or we'll lose business. We're going to lose money. And that's not what we're truly saying right now. Basically, yes and is just the idea of loving an idea for a little bit, being able to open the conversation to that possibilities. It's like if you say no because you're going to be saying you're already saying you're looking for reasons why it won't happen.
Yeah, you're
But
shutting
yes,
everything down, aren't you? That yes and
yeah,
it's like, I mean, obviously, Neca, we're all about electrical contracting, and it's like
yeah,
you put high voltage into the quality of that relationship. That yes and transforms how you connect with the people. And it was so much easier for us to bounce back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And I suppose the yes and, it's almost like, yes, you definitely can't say yes to everything. So you can't say yes to every request for a discount. You can't say yes to every negotiation. But what it
yeah.
can do is at least create an open-minded culture for moving the conversation onwards.
That's absolutely it. And it empowers people not only that you're doing business with, but working with your coworkers to contribute, which means if they have a contribution into what you're doing, they have buy-in to what you're doing. They are already going to be more on board for what you are saying because they have contributed to your idea. Now it is not your idea, it's our idea. And that's kind of what yes and is. It's the building
Carissa, I
block
smell
of
an Emmy
improv.
here. I mean, I think we
I
are
only have
we're
to make
like we're gonna be like Nika's Schitt's Creek.
alums of the second city. Just
Of course
so
they
you
are,
know.
and I feel like
Yes, they
I'm an
are.
honorary second cityer now at this point. So
I
what
think
what
so.
else will you be covering at the Nika Live convention? What else will delegates take away?
You're gonna also okay. So the not only the yes and is huge. It's the bring a brick, don't build a cathedral idea. So that means like I'm not asking you to come up with the full idea. I am asking you to come up with one tiny part of that idea. Bring a brick, don't build a cathedral. That's what you're all there for, to help build that cathedral together. And one huge way that you can do that is listening. Listening is huge. I get it. And it's so simple. And it's so easy to like forget that that is like something we learned from like Sesame Street way back when. But listening is truly one of our biggest difficulties, I think, as adults. Because we always
Yeah,
feel like we need to fill in the blank. Would you do one more exercise, another exercise with me?
I would love to. Let's go. Absolutely.
I really do feel like this is a friendship forever. This is gonna last. Okay, so this is very simple. We're gonna have a conversation again. I love having a conversation
Uh-huh.
with you. We are gonna have a conversation, and all you need to do is take the last word of each of our statements. So my last word, your last word, and make it the first word of your response. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
So, would you start for me?
Yes. This morning I went to the store and they had ran out of fruit.
Fruit is such an important way to start any day.
Day and daily, I get up every morning and I think to myself, what am I going to have for breakfast? And this morning, because I'm a grown up, I had bran flakes.
flakes for breakfast? I can't imagine. I prefer something a little bit more hearty. So instead of flakes, I usually do roundy balls.
Balls is an interesting way for me to have to start this sentence. Balls are something that I was never good at using, doing, or playing with. My father wanted me to play soccer as a kid. He bought me a new pair of like boots every year. I never wore them once. In PE and physical education, I don't know what you call it in America.
You got
hell,
it.
you call it hell. I used to dirty them like with fake mud and run them on the concrete and then take them home. So he thought that I was genuinely playing.
Playing this back and forth game with you right now is the highlight of my day, and I'm going to call it there. Okay.
Scene.
You seen. The Emmys are coming for us next year. This is it. Now, what we had to do just for that very simple exercise of like going back and forth was you had to be on your toes. You had to. There's a lot of things I threw at you. You were what agility you used to get out of them. But you also, most importantly, you had to listen. You had to listen to the end of what I was saying. And it's just honestly a concept that we don't do as adults. People feel like if I'm not ready to respond to you as soon as you're done speaking, then I won't look smart. I'll look like I don't know what I'm saying. But if you take in everything somebody is saying, that gives them a sense that they're actually listening. If this is how we usually describe it. If a conversation, oh my gosh, I'm backwards. If a conversation is an arm, people usually listen up to the elbow, and you miss this entire part. Because by the time you get to the elbow, that's when you've already thought of what you want to respond with. That's when the normal person has thought, I know what I'm going to say. I'm ready, and I'm going to just wait for you to stop talking. But when you stop talking, I'm going to have so much to say. And you've already missed all of this.
Yeah, so they're not actually processing the information. They're just waiting for their gap to say their bit.
Yes, they're waiting. They're basically waiting for you to close your mouth so they can open theirs, and that's everybody does that. And if you'll catch yourself now that you know this, you'll catch yourself thinking while somebody else is talking about what you're going to say next, instead of truly taking in all of that information. It's basically just trusting your ability to respond after somebody finishes. It just helps you feel more present. It helps them know that you are present.
Do you know what's great about both of those exercises is that the minute that it's thrown to me. And I like to think that, I can make up stuff as I go along. I've been doing it for 10 years. But you always still feel, even though you know you're not going to die and the ground is not going to open up and swallow you up, but you still feel like a mild panic inside where you think, maybe I'll just fake a seizure and then we can end this. But actually, once you take a stab at it, it's fine. It's never as hard as you think it's going to be. In the same way that last networking event that someone might have attended, they might have cringed in the car park and said, you know what, I'm just going to go to Starbucks. Why would I bother putting myself through this? But if you get over that discomfort and that awkwardness, actually it's fine, isn't it?
It just feels so freeing to let yourself feel nervous, feel those butterflies, feel that momentary being uncomfortable for a moment, and then working through that and working with that. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to feel it anymore. I'm saying that now you are going to accept it and continue. And that's basically what we do every night. You have to be able to play through the many laughs I'm sure we're going to get, especially when we perform for you guys, but also through the silences, which is something that can really rock you.
Yeah, rock is one word for it. And I know you're working on a lot of the Neca messaging as well. You're working on the 5 E's. How are you going to bring that alive?
Oh, I'm actually quite excited. I know you have your 5 E's, but we're really excited to bring the 30, and we can't wait for some sweet entertainment. We are going to entertain on for our live improv show on October 8th. It is going to be funny. It'll be interactive. We truly can't wait to perform for you guys.
Look, I am so excited. Carissa, thank you so much for joining us here on Monday. It's lovely to introduce you to the Neca family. I know you haven't met them before. I promise you, they are some of the nicest people I have ever met. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to tune into your improv session. I will be there cheering, clapping, whooping, yes-anding, last wording to within an inch of my life.
Thank you.
Take care, Carissa. We'll catch up with you again soon. Thank you so much. So there you have it, folks. Neca Live this year will be an extraordinary experience, not just looking at high performance in business, but high performance on every dimension. We have got world-class speakers from all across the world, and here is just a peek at some that you'll see there. Not only a host of old favourites that we know, you know and love, but some brand new faces that will challenge you to think differently. And speaking of new faces, let's go into our comments. We've got Leslie is coming in and saying, thank you, Neca, for making this happen. You are right, Leslie. The session with Carissa and her colleagues will be unlike anything else we've ever had. Leslie is also saying that Saturday night has been a lifesaver in my life. She visited Second City and it is the Mecca of comedy. Leslie, I think you should have shares at this point. Maxwell is saying thanks for the nice conversation. Thank you for joining us. And Benny is coming in from Sun State Equipment. We've got lots of great comments coming in from LinkedIn, from YouTube, and from Facebook. Kevin is coming in and saying from American Line Builders. And Beth is saying that she's looking forward to the closing celebration with Second City on October 8th. This is going to be an extraordinary year, and we cannot wait to see you there. See you back here soon for another Neca Live.